Hello, it's the Hillbilly halfwit here, Gaza, and today we're going to talk about Vaughan gething and this loan that was given to this company, and then he received a donation to help his campaign. Now this has got very, very deep at the moment, and I think he might be in catastrophic trouble. Before we carry on, please comment, rate and subscribe and share this stuff out there, because people need to know in Wales how bent all our leaders are. Now go down below, you'll see the thing. Please press the like button and please subscribe if you haven't already. So let's get going. Now if you don't know, this is our new Welsh leader, Vaughan Gething. And during the campaign he received £200,000 of a donation off one firm, and that firm just happened to get put in its application for planning permission for a huge solar farm just outside Cardiff on exactly the same day. He also had £50,000 extra from another place, which I did a video on before. So I didn't think I'd need to do a video on this, but this is getting very murky now. Let's go through it. Firm that bankrolled Vaughan Gething's campaign received £400,000 in loans off a public bank. Now, not normal. This is the bank, a Welsh Bank of Wales. So the Development Bank of Wales provides commercial loans and equity investments to small businesses based in Wales. Lending and investment decisions taken by the Development Bank are wholly independent of the Welsh Government. Supposed to be. So let's get through this. This is really bad. So even Mr. Miles now, the guy who was against Gething during the when they were trying to be leader, he had 60,000 in donations. I show it you all here. So Vaughan Gething and him had a roughly around within 10,000 of each other, because Vaughan Gething had 50,000 separate from the 200,000. So they were roughly around the same area of money, except for this extra 200,000 that Vaughan Gething had. Now Mr. Miles now has complained to the Senedd about this. So here's Mr. Miles' own donations. Drakeford was asked about this at the time. He said there was nothing at all wrong with it. So it shows how corrupt this all is. He knew everything about this. So let's read this. You'll be amazed by all this. Firm that bankrolled Vaughan Gething's campaign received 400,000 in loans of public money. Questions are being raised over the extent to which the company which bankrolled Vaughan Gething's campaign to be First Minister benefits from the support of the Welsh Government-run Development Bank of Wales. Vaughan Gething is facing further questions over a company that donated 200k to his campaign to be First Minister. It has emerged that the company receives huge loans from the Development Bank for Wales an arm's length public body used by the Welsh Government to support business. The loans were given to Neil Soil Suppliers, part of the Dawson Environmental Group empire run by Cardiff businessman David Neil, which funded Mr. Gething's campaign. Most recently, the Cardiff-based Development Bank gave Neil Suppliers a £400,000 loan in February 23 to fund the purchase of a solar farm. So get this. David Neil needed a £400,000 loan off the Welsh Government to fund a solar farm. Then when he got that money, he donated £200,000 of that, allegedly, to Vaughan Gething to get him to be the First Minister. So a guy that didn't have £400,000 borrowed £400,000 off the Welsh Development Board and then gave half of that to Vaughan Gething, allegedly. Paperwork filed at company's house show Neil Soil Supplies had received loans from the bank and his predecessors financed Wales several times in the last 10 years. Now I won't read this all. I'll just read the bits that I've highlighted. The Cardiff's, you can look at all this yourself. The Cardiff, South and Penarth MS took £200,000 donations from Cardiff-based environmental firm Dawson Environmental Group to help him in his battle with rival Jerry Miles. to become the next Welsh Labour leader and place Mark Drakeford as First Minister. Wales Online also revealed that on the same day the company made a donation to Mr Gethin, they also applied to build a large solar farm outside of Cardiff, which would require the approval of Mr Gethin's government. So we've said all that. Doesn't look very good, does it? So here we are again. Welsh Tory Shadow Minister for the Economy, Samuel Kurtz, has written to his opposition number, Jeremy Miles, who lost against Mr Gethin in the leadership race, questioning the loans from the DBW. He wrote, given that the Welsh Development owns 100% of the shares of DBW, this calls into question the independence of their financing decisions, the use of public funds and the influence of the then Economy Minister. So the Welsh Development owns all of the shares in that company, and then they actually gave £200,000 of that loan allegedly to Mr Gethin. If the companies associated with David Neil needed to borrow $400,000, how were they then in the position to donate $200,000 to Vaughan Gethin, MS, who was the minister responsible for the Development Bank of Wales at the time? So I've only just realised this. Vaughan Gethin was the minister in charge of the Development Bank of Wales. So he loaned the $400,000 to David Neil, and then David Neil allegedly gave him £200,000 back for his campaign. I didn't realise that Vaughan Gethin was the minister in charge of the Bank of Wales. That is very, very, very wrong. A spokesman for the Development Bank said in February 23 the Development Bank of Wales agreed a loan to Neil suppliers for $400,000, which funded the purchase of a solar farm. The loan is on track to repay over 5 years and is supported by the security from the company itself and debentures from other companies in the same group, Dawson Environment and Atlantic Recycling. Well, that is now I've read that and I've realised that Vaughan Gethin was in charge of responsible for the Development Bank of Wales that gave the loan to this lot, and then he allegedly received $200,000 back. That is very, very dodgy. So I wasn't going to look at this, but I had another look at it and I could see this was getting very murky indeed. I think we could have Vaughan Gethin resigning over this, because this looks like one of them things that could go and go and go, because it is dodgy, isn't it? I have to say allegedly, they'll have a go at me. So please comment, rate and subscribe, and I got some really good ones coming now of the sus strands, how much money they're making, and lots of stuff. Okay, ta-da, all the best, guys.